Hey folks, today I'm finally upgrading the light on my 55-gallon tank. Look, this light's on and you can't even hardly tell. I've got a new one from Current and we're going to unbox that and set it up right now. Hey YouTube, this is Pecktec and I get a lot of requests for lighting advice. People want to know what kind of lights I like to use to grow plants and that sort of thing. So Current USA reached out to me and said, would you like to review one of our products? And I said, why yes, I happen to need a product really bad. So they've agreed to send me this. They sent me the Satellite Plus Pro, and looks pretty cool in the box. Some of the features, it's got a built-in timer. It's got a lot of different color varieties and that sort of thing. The lightning storm, like a lot of the LEDs lights do. And it's supposed to be good for planted tanks, which that's the key. Now, just about any light's going to be better than the aquarium modular light that I used here. This light started off pretty strong. It did okay for a little while, but it really can't be subjected to any moisture at all. So if you've got it over an open area like you might want to do to get the light in there a little bit better, the moisture gets in there, and even if you do have it covered up, the moisture can really get to this thing and just kind of mess it up. Also, I think just about every transformer that they have has had to be replaced. Like, I've had two of these. One was given to me and I bought one, and the transformer on both of them had gone bad. And if you write in, they'll send a replacement, but that's them, right? So let's take a look at this Current light. I'm really excited to replace this thing. I'm not happy with that at all. It's just kind of there to be some kind of light until I got a better light. So slide this on out of here. Got a box here with power supply stuff. Like we're attached here. The other side off. It's like it's got a little bracket for the controller that comes with it. A light out of there. Ooh, wow. It is super thin. Super thin. This little logo right at the top, it looks sexy. And it's got a plug-in module like this, which means it's going to be real easy to snake in and out of, say, hoods and stuff. Some of them don't have a lot of space. Or if you need to work it through a tight situation, you know, behind the aquarium or something like that, you can use this. And then plug it into, what I'm guessing that this is a module. Now this particular light has all kinds of cool tricks it can do. It's got a 24-hour timer, so you can basically skip plugging the timer in the wall and you can use this. Another feature that it talked about a lot was the ability to ramp up. So for when you set the light to come on and off, as it comes on, it's going to ramp up. It's going to start off at a lower power setting and then just kind of get brighter and brighter and brighter until it gets to the, you know, the setting that you set for it. And then the ramp down does the opposite. It goes from that standard brightness that you've set it to, and then it ramps it down to 0. So there's no sudden lights coming on or lights coming off to kind of startle your fish. Sounds pretty good. Right here we have the controller. The light plugs into this, and you can use this to set your parameters, like your timer and probably a number of other things. It also has some instructions. And a really cool remote. Now this is very reminiscent of the remote I got for the Flex. So that's kind of neat, but there's a lot of controls on there. Oh, and it's also got a little Velcro patch, so you can make a temporary home for this controller somewhere in your aquarium, or a more permanent one with the bracket that it's included. First glance at this light, it looks pretty neat. It reminds me a little bit of the Finex lights as far as how thin it is and the way these are kind of set up here, but there are a lot of LEDs. I mean, this is a 48-inch light, but there are a lot of LEDs. And at either side, you've got the little mounts here, so you can just kind of mount in your aquarium, and it does extend out. I think this is like 48 to 60 inches or something. I doubt the light will spread enough to use it on a 60-inch tank, but if you're in a situation like I was, where your other light just kind of died and you wanted to put something there, you know, this would probably fit the bill for a little while at least. I don't know yet. I've never used their lights, and I'm excited. They got pretty decent reviews. when they contacted me, of course, I looked them up to see if there would be anything that I'd want to show. And I was real impressed with the range of lights that they have. And this one's particularly expensive because of this controller. So I'm real excited to show you guys what I can do. I think it's going to be a really, really fun light. And if I like it a whole lot, I might get a second one for the one upstairs. Or I might try a different brand of light. I'm not sure yet. They also had a whole bunch of retrofit kits, and I've got a couple of retrofit projects that I'd like to do. So maybe we'll see it again in one of those. Now it's kind of hard to tell, but some of these LEDs are sort of like a yellowy color, and some seem to be almost silver. Now what that means is some of these are going to be white, and the other ones will contain the red, green, blue. So the different proportions of red, green, blue are all encompassed inside of this light. What's really cool about that is it gives you a wide variety of colors that you can set your aquarium to. Now, as far as what's best for plants, what's best for fish and stuff, that might be a little subjective. But this definitely gives you a lot of different options, and I think it's going to be fun. Right, so let's go ahead and stick this on the aquarium and see how it does. Okay, folks, the problem is when you demonstrate how bright a light is, the camera is going to try to adjust for whatever light that you have. So what I've done is I've included the fluval edge over here. So we've got it as sort of a constant. So you can see the comparison between the two, how bright it is. Now, it might be real super obvious how bright it is, but I'm including this as kind of an extra way to judge the brightness of the light. Now I'm going to switch it out. We have the power brick for the light, and the plug, of course, that goes in the wall. We'll plug into there, and then that goes into the wall. On the other side, we're going to plug it into the controller, and it's really obvious. Only one of these fit for the power. Kind of goes in like that. This side is going to go to the cord that comes out of the light. I can easily tell that this is instantly gone from not even half as bright as the other aquarium to probably just as bright or maybe a little bit brighter than the other tank. This has a lot of floating plants and that sort of thing to kind of break up the light, but wow, very pretty light so far. I really like it. And it's only taking up the back half. If you wanted to, you could double up on this light. You could put one on either side. That'd be kind of expensive, but man, if you wanted a lot of light, you could easily do that. That looks really good. Now, normally on the show we toss the instructions, and that's really fun, but this light is more complicated than your typical light. So it's not something you just plug into a timer and forget about, but that would be a terrible waste, because this little bit of kit right here is where most of the cost is. This is the difference between a light that cost $200 and something and a light that cost $100 and something. There's all kinds of prices and quality levels and things to consider with these lights. I'm not really addressing any of those. I'm just going to show you how this one works, and over a long period of time we'll decide if this is a great light or not. So I guess while we've got this out, what we should do is maybe play with the color mode. So what I'm going to do is remove the, whoops. Obviously you can control it right here on the little switch as well. Don't forget to pull the plastic out of the battery so that your remote can work, and it does come with an extra one of those batteries, so that's pretty cool. Now in the instructions they have not only the programming instructions, but information on the different color modes and everything you need to know about the remote and everything else. They do recommend that you keep this, and I would recommend that you keep it too, just because like I'm not sure what happens, like if when the power goes out, will it keep all its settings? Will you have to set it again? I'm not sure if it's like that or not. We'll see, but if that's the case, you definitely want to have these so you don't have to try to just figure it out. Now this light has something called on-demand dynamic modes, and those are the modes you see right there across the bottom. Let's try a couple of these out and see. This is the moonlight, which I assume is just going to make everything blue. Yep, everything's just kind of a dark blue. And we've got this other moon here. It's kind of gray. I think it's the cloudy moon. And what that will do more than likely is just kind of change the intensities and stuff. We've got a sun with clouds right here. Let's try that. Not sure what that's doing. It's kind of hard to tell. And we've got what looks like a sunrise. put that on. Everything's dim. That'll probably ramp up or something like that. Also, as you go a little further up the remote, it's got these color spectrums. Now this one is sunlight. Provides a soft white color temperature similar to a lower K spectrum like 6500K. Great for planted tanks and fish with orange and yellows. Well, that looks pretty nice. All right, the next one they have is full spectrum. And I'll be honest, I'm not seeing a lot of difference between the two. Oh yeah. That first one was a lot more orange than this one. Okay. So full spectrum says excellent for heavily planted aquariums, and it basically runs all the lights at full tilt. The next one they have is crisp blue. Crisp blue, similar to 10,000K spectrum, emits a very crisp white with a hue of blue. We highly recommend this color for cichlids and other fish. And the last one is this sort of purple color they call deep water. An amazing color for deep water, an amazing color for many aquarium fish, white mixed with a bit of blue and red that makes the fish really pop in color. Very cool. If I've read this correctly, what you can do is when we set the clock on this for the photo period, when it's not in on mode or ramping up to the lights coming on, you can have the moonlight on. So I think it's kind of like a timer for the blue lights too. This has been my biggest problem with the moonlights on all the other aquariums. They either need a way for those to come on their own, or they need to have a separate plug so you can put it on a timer. Now if this timer or this controller will work both of those, that will be brilliant. I'll be so happy. Let's see if it works. Alright, so first things first, now that we've played with the light modes, except for the lightning modes, we didn't do that yet. That's cloudy day lightning. Here's like sunny day lightning. Alright, so let's set the clock. See, we got right here at the very top, set clock. We're going to use the plus hour. Yes, this is military time. It's about 2:40, so that's there and minute. That's close enough. Alright, so we got the time set, and we're going to program the on-off. So on time is going to be, let's have that come on about, let's say, I'm going to have it come on about 11 o'clock, a little bit late so I can enjoy it at night. And the off time, I'm going to set that to, I want it to be about 9 o'clock. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to adjust the minutes to 0. Enter. All right. And my on and off timer set. It was that easy. You can press on time and it'll flash on and then tell you what time you set for that. You can press off time. It says off and it tells you what time it's set to go off. So then you know you're ready to go. And there's the current time. And of course with the color spectrums, you can play with all these, or you can use the preloaded ones that we talked about already. But you can set and adjust and tweak this to exactly what you want. Now let's say you've decided to customize some of these color spectrums and you want to keep it, right? You can go through here, change the color spectrum the way you want, get it set the way you want, and then you can hit this memory button for 3 seconds and it'll save that setting. So you can have, it looks like 2 different custom settings that you've made yourself out of here just with this M1 and M2. So you just set the color the way you want and then you hit M1 or M2 for 3 seconds and it'll save your setting. Incidentally too, the infrared module is right here on your controller, so if you want to use your remote, like from the couch or from your bed or something like that, if you want to use the remote with it, it needs to be able to see this thing, which is why they have this bracket here where you can maybe mount it to something. They also have some Velcro, maybe for a more temporary solution. I'll probably use this because I like this light a lot, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use it here or if I'm going to use it upstairs. But for now, it'll start here. I'm going to use some Velcro to just attach it somewhere where I can see it. Supposedly this remote will work from around 30 feet away. So there you have it, folks. It's a pretty nicely lit tank now, and I'm really pretty happy with this product. Of course, the proof is the pudding. and the long-term review is the best. Now, as far as how bright this light actually is, I encourage you to check out another video. Are you talking about Corey from Aquarium Co-op? Yeah, he's one of the few that had actual PAR ratings. He's got a PAR meter, and he uses that to judge the intensity of the light. You don't see that a lot. That's true. A lot of even light manufacturers don't have PAR meters. So that's definitely one to check out. I definitely referred to it when I was getting research for this light. Until next time, follow your bliss, keep a clean tank. See you soon. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.